Indominus Rex, genetically modified to be the best predator the planet has ever seen, tortured and mistreated to become a true monster. There are few who came across this beast and lived to tell about it. In Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, the Indominus Rex made a glorious return to the series, and we got to see some extra moments from its catastrophic escape from the park that Jurassic World the movie was focused on. The Indominus killed every single living being it came across in Camp Cretaceous except one. Some slight spoilers ahead. Toro the Carnotaurus. Why is this? Well, we're going to go over some historical information on the Indominus as well as theorize a type of behavior that is much deeper than we may have first understood. Remember to comment and leave a like, and let's get to it. So this scene in the series only lasts for a few seconds and near the end of one of the episodes, so many viewers may have missed this altogether. After escaping and running amok for some time, the Indominus stumbles upon the enclosure holding none other than Toro the Carnotaurus. The two beasts stare each other down from either side of the fence. They both growl and appear to be saying something, and then the screen cuts away. What happened? Later on in the series, we discover that Toro was set free by the Indominus, destroying the fence just enough for the Carnotaurus to be set free to aid in island-wide chaos. Turns out the Indominus treated Toro just like the Raptor Squad, using the dinosaur for its own personal satisfaction, which in this case was destroying the place that was responsible for the Indominus's cruel existence. Let's go over how this is possible within the lore of the franchise. The Indominus is made up of a large variety of dinosaurs, one of them being the Carnotaurus. Jurassic World the movie had no Carnotaurus, so its DNA being found in the Indominus mostly went undiscussed and therefore unknown to many. So the inclusion of Carno DNA allowed the Indominus to communicate and, lack of a better word, control the Carnotaurus, just like how it worked with the raptors that we got to see in the movie. A key thing to remember here is that even though the Indominus shares DNA with the T-Rex, that the two never once tried to communicate, or if there was an attempt by the Indominus to have the T-Rex follow its command, she was quick to say hell no. This is likely due to the T-Rex being the biggest, toughest dinosaur on the block, and she wasn't about to become someone's servant. So why wouldn't the Carnotaurus follow a similar path? The obvious is that the Carnotaurus is much smaller than both the Rexes. In a one-on-one match, there is no chance that a Carno would be able to hold its own in a fight with the Indominus. Perhaps the Indominus even threatened Toro in its own sadistic dinosaur language that we weren't able to comprehend, saying something along the lines of, "If you don't listen to me, I'm going to come in there and rip you to shreds, but if you do bend at the knee to me, then I shall set you free." Yes, that's how dinosaurs talk to each other. This next theory, though, may just change the way you're looking at the Indominus and Toro. While it is just a TV show and in no way represents actual animal behavior, there is still no denying that there was something extra devious about Toro in Camp Cretaceous. It seemed to always know where the children would be and had a type of dedication in the way it hunted them that made it seem like it was a serial killer, stalking and staying one step ahead of its prey. A trait that can be seen in three of the franchise's most brutal killers, the Spinosaurus, Indominus Rex, and Indoraptor. Does this mean that Toro suffers from some sort of mental instability much like the three hybrid dinosaurs? The Carnotaurus is a true dinosaur, and as far as I am aware, there are no extra ingredients that were thrown into the mix when cloning it. But just because it wasn't a hybrid lab experiment doesn't mean that it didn't suffer from the horrible treatment that all predatory dinosaurs in the park, save for a few, had to endure. Being starved, poked and prodded, forced into a secluded cage with no interactions from the outside world other than a feeder machine, and was likely never treated as anything more but an asset and a way to make money. This was a fate that likely most of the dangerous carnivore dinosaurs had to go through as they matured on the island, save for a couple of familiar jaws. With the T-Rex, or Rexy as some have come to call her, being the first major attraction and sort of prized jewel for the park, she was probably taken care of rather decently for the most part in her early days before the original park collapsed. Especially since this was still early on in cloning dinosaurs before Dr. Wu decided to start making biological weapons. Rexy grew up likely being loved and cherished by the employees of the park while she was still small and relatively harmless, and even when she became too large and powerful to be around, She was connected enough to her handlers from the time she got to spend with them as a baby enough to never feel like she was mistreated. Her actions in the franchise seem for the most part normal for what we would expect from a bus-sized predator forced into an enclosure. While the original raptors in Jurassic Park only had a few weeks of being safe to handle, and after that it was learned that they were lethal and should in no way be interacted with. This led to them not only being naturally deadly, but now they were mentally unstable and even more dangerous when compared to the Raptor Squad in Jurassic World. Blue and her siblings were treated well for the entirety of their lives, and even when they became superb killers, they still had a special team working with them and ensuring they had enough mental stimulation to not break into fits of rage and desires of complete chaos and the need to kill. Let's get back to the Carnotaurus now. Within Camp Cretaceous, all signs point to Toro being mistreated and likely having some sort of mental instability caused by it. This was the new age of dinosaur cloning, and Dr. Wu was in full control of his assets, completely breaking all bridges to these dinosaurs being real animals, as he and many of his colleagues now only considered them as ways of earning money, a product for the masses. The Carnotaurus had no special upbringing like Rexy, didn't have a team of handlers focused on ensuring its well-being, and was too large and dangerous to ever see another dinosaur or human up close and personal to form any sort of social understanding. Sure, there is no doubt that the Indominus would have killed the Carnotaurus if it needed to, but the fact that the I-Rex nicely broke Toro free and then continued on its day, maybe there was a chance the Indominus was able to pick up on Toro's lust for chaos and death to all. Why else would this predator constantly be on the lookout for Darius and the kids instead of hunting for larger herbivores on the island? Toro remembered how Darius and Ken mocked him, remembered the gash that they caused him on his snout, and remembered all the times mankind had abused him. And it was time to make someone pay. The Indominus knew this would happen, and that's why it set the Carnotaurus free to terrorize the island for the horrible deeds done there. So what do you think about this theory? Do you think Toro and the Indominus, along with most predator dinosaurs in the park, suffer from mental instability due to their harsh upbringings? Let us know in the comments. If you like these Jurassic theories, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video with some of your dino friends, and ask them what they think. Thank you all for spending your time with me, and I hope to see you again in Dangerville. This has been Jacob, and peace out.